These are the signs that you need to look out for, which mean you need new clubs, even if you think you don't. One of the best things about golf is the continual progression that you can make as you spend many years within this sport. Usually this can be done by playing out on the course more, spending time at the range, or getting lessons from a PGA professional. But it can also be done by subscribing to this YouTube channel, and while you're at it, make sure you hit that bell icon. We are approaching 700,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and it would be great to have you along for the ride. Another way to accelerate your progress is to get some new clubs, and often this is based on your ability. But listen carefully, because it's important to know what type of golfer you are before you take the plunge. For example, let me introduce you to Kieran. Now, Kieran has been making wonderful strides with his golf game. He's come down almost 10 strokes on his handicap in 6 months, and he's committed to getting better. But let's take a closer look at his clubs. He's had these ever since he started 3 years ago, and quite frankly, I think they're holding him back due to their age and condition. So Kieran, now try these nice new Titleist T150 irons. They are compact, aimed at a better player, but still offer a little bit of forgiveness, filled with a new technology that will continue to improve your game. But just look how well he's hitting it and how much he's falling in love with these irons. These new clubs are far better suited to the player he is now and hopefully will become. This, however, can work both ways, with the golfer who feels they are regressing and would benefit from having clubs which are much more forgiving and offer much more support, or the weekend player who has no time to practice and not much desire to get any better, and having that set of clubs that provide the most help would be beneficial, or the guy who hits every single iron 150 yards because his current set do not suit his game and swing. One of the most important things here is to understand your commitment level. We're not talking here about how much you want to be committed or how much you think you can be committed. How much time are you actually willing to put into your game? Because that can have a huge impact on the style of clubs that you are going to need. So I'll borrow Kieran's clubs here to prove my next point. Thank you. So the second reason you may need new clubs is the condition. Just as we've spoken about assessing your current game when buying new clubs, you also need to take a look at your current equipment. So when looking at your current clubs, are they suited for your game? What's the grip like? Is the shaft the right flex? Have you got the correct lie angle? What about lofts? There is so much that goes into making a great golf club, but you also need to make sure that all these features are suited to you. Now, the only way of truly knowing this is to get yourself fit. Now, you can do this at your local golf store, which are definitely improving in this regard, or going to your local PGA professional who can advise you on the best clubs for your game. Another thing to consider is the age of your clubs. So as clubs get older, there's a whole list of things that can go wrong. They can become bent in the shaft, the lie angles could change, the lofts could skew after many hits. We have rust, we have general wear and tear, dinks and dints. As time moves onwards, all these things can affect the performance of a golf club. The perfect example of keeping up to date with golf clubs are your wedges. Now it's just you and me talking, let's have a little honest chat. How often do you clean the grooves out on your wedges? Every year? Every month? Just have a think about it. Grooves are designed to channel away dirt and moisture at impact and help generate spin, and this allows you to control the golf ball. They say, and by they I mean manufacturers, but it's generally a good guide, recommend the time that you should change your wedges is between 12 and 36 months if you are using them constantly. This will help keep the groove sharp and to optimum performance. So the next time you're around the green with a short shot, just have a look at your wedges, have a look at the grooves, see if they need to be cleaned out, and just ask yourself the question of how long you've been using these clubs. Ooh, These are still fine, thank you. The third reason you might be needing some new clubs is that old enemy, Father Time. You may be a junior getting stronger, or you may be advancing in years, and those balls just aren't going quite as far as they used to. You know, as you get older and that back stiffens up and you don't quite have the hip turn that you used to 10 years ago, that could be a sign that you're going to need new clubs. Simply put, getting irons which are larger, more forgiving, more powerful, could reap bigger rewards in the long run. Take these clubs here, the Ping G430 irons. So manufacturers generally are doing such a better job of having a really forgiving iron, cramming technology into the club head, and yet still making them appealing to the eye. And for golfers who need help just getting the ball in the air, that added forgiveness, it's these types of irons which are just absolutely fantastic. As you get older, or if you're a new golfer looking for more forgiveness, or even a junior lacking a little bit of power, an area to look at is going to be short game. So you can get high-tech wedges, which give a little bit more distance and launch. You have putters, which can maximize forgiveness on off-center strikes. The short game is a great leveler. You can get shots back in this part of your game. It's something to think about. The penultimate reason that I'm going to give you for looking at new clubs is understanding the environment that you're playing in. This means taking a look at the course that you're playing at and how that can affect the choice of clubs that you should have in your bag. For example, if you find yourself playing at a links course, ask yourself how the conditions will affect the types of clubs that you're going to need. For example, at the top end of my bag, I'm currently using a hybrid because the majority of courses that I play, they require quite a high ball flight to land it softly moving into greens, and it also gives me a really good option off the tee. However, if you're spending most of your time playing on that links course, I'd recommend something like this, a driving iron, where you can keep the trajectory down a little bit lower and get it scooting down those dry fairways. If you want more information on driving irons, you can check out this video here, but another factor that you need to bear in mind is the length of the course that you generally play at. For example, today I am here at the beautiful Reddish Vale, and it's only 6,000 yards off the back tees. Sometimes a driver might not be necessary, and getting your hands on a really good 3-wood that you trust could be more useful. Or maybe something like this mini driver, and it's always a plus when a club can look as good as this. Now, I've left this point until last because, let's be honest, it's the most important thing to do, and that is just to have fun. And let's face it, getting new clubs can be absolutely awesome. Ultimately, you want to enjoy yourself. So if you're absolutely desperate for that new set of irons or that shiny mini driver, then who am I to say no? In fact, I should probably give you my permission. So take this as my personal endorsement to you, to go and get that new club and to show this to your partner who keeps telling you no. Pete says it's okay. And if you do need help deciding on which new clubs that you want to buy, how about you check out these videos here?